and we call it a control flow. It has two approaches. We have the conditional statements and we have what? The loop. Okay? But today, because we don't have enough time, we are going to dive deep into only the control flow. Then tomorrow we look at the loop. Okay? Alright. Now, remember, as I always say, make sure you have the virtual environment, your virtual environment you created earlier on. Make sure you have it, okay? And make sure, like, among these three, if you don't have anyone, it should be the virtual environment. You should have the virtual environment. Is that clear? All right. Now, for you can just conda activate the virtual environment. You see, I'm using conda. So I can use conda activate virtual environment. And that is the same thing I showed when you check the video on my YouTube, and which talks about how you can, from zero to code, using VS Code and creating virtual environments. You will be able to understand how you can create a virtual environment, and then anytime you want to use that particular virtual environment, then you automatically run it in a terminal. Okay? So now today what we are going to do is we are going to look at control flow. Okay? So when we say control flow, we are looking at the conditional statements. And conditional statements, as we know, it's more like the if, the else, and then also the if else. So else, if, else. You understand? So we are going to look at the control statements when it comes to Python. Okay? We are going to look at control statements when it comes to what? Python. Alright. So basically we are going to look at the if statement, the else statement, the elif statement, the nested conditional statements, and also we will look at some practical examples as we always do. Today we will look at some more in-depth practical example. Okay, so you need to understand the conditional statement, and conditional statement is also one of the reasons why AI even came up, like machine learning came up, because at first we the programmers, we were explicitly programming the computer, but now we are saying that we want the computer to rather learn. So you see, first we were making a lot of if else statements so much in our program, but now because of AI and machine learning, we are telling the computer to learn from our data, which the data could be those that we have stored in memory or in a database. You understand? And then we have trained that particular machine learning model on that particular data, and we are telling the model to learn from that data and then make predictions or make decisions. So it's the same thing that now we want to make decisions based on conditional statements. Okay, we want to make decisions. If you want to make a decision, you need to set conditions. In programming, we set conditions based on what? Certain statements. Okay, and the statements we will be using are the if, the else if, the nested, and all that. Okay, so we are going to dive deep into it. Now, for us to be able to do that, as I always say, we will create a notebook here. Okay, so we are going to create a notebook file. So today you are going to see how notebooks are created in VS Code, which is Visual Studio Code. Then from there you will see how I am going to select the kernel, okay, based on this virtual environment we created. And then from there you will see how we are going to run each code. Okay, all right. So first of all, we said today we are doing what? Control flow. So control flow, it means we are going to work with conditional statements. So all that I need to do is come here. So you can see in your IDE, you have a space where you create files and folders. Okay, so I want to create a file called blah 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 .ipynb, which is a notebook file. Okay, so I want to create a notebook file. Okay, all right. So I can just right click here like this, okay, and I'll get the option to create either a new file or a new folder. But for me to, you can also click on either this, which is to create a new file, or this to create a new folder. But here, our option now is what? We are going to create a new file. So I'll just click on this, or I can just right click like this and I'll click on new file. And then with this new file, I'm going to name it conditional statement. So I will just say conditional Let me just use small letters, okay? Conditional statements. Okay, so I'm saying that conditional statements dot ipym. So the reason why I'm using this extension is because I am going to work with Notebook. It doesn't matter the ID you are using. If you are using Notebook plus plus, if you are using Jupyter Notebook, it's fine. All that you need to understand is the file you create as your notebook needs to have that extension of what? .ipynb. That's it. Okay. So once you're done, you just save it like this. So you see that we have this file, conditional statements.ipynb. Okay. Now I just scroll it just so I can get more space. Okay. Now you see, let me also shrink this one a little bit down because we're not going to. Let me even close it because we don't need. But you let me just put it down here. All right. Now we are saying that we have a notebook file. This is a notebook file. Now, if I do something like A is assigned to 10, okay, print A, right? If I do something like this, I will get error. I'll get error because I have no environment to run the code on. You see the logic here? You need to have an environment that you run your Python codes or scripts on. Okay, guys, you need to have an environment where you run your Python code or scripts on. So now let's run and see. You can use Shift Enter or you can press on this. Okay, all right. So I'll use Shift Enter. Now you see, the moment I use Shift Enter, it's telling me I need what? To select an environment. And now you can either select this, or if you have multiple environments, to just select another kernel. But currently we are using this virtual environment, so we just click on it like this, and then it will be connected to what? The kernel, which is the virtual environment we created and activated. Okay, don't forget, whenever you want to use your virtual environment, you need to activate it. That is why you saw I did something like this here. Okay, I was on this particular path, and based on the path, I said Conda activate my virtual environment. This could be any name. That's why when you watch my previous video, you will see that it can be any name. It can be Darko Labs, it can be AI, any name. But always my advice is make sure the name of the virtual environment goes with the project you are working on. It's because now we are just in the learning process. That's why I just make it virtual environment. But when we are working on a project, it could be, let's say, price prediction underscore environment. It could be something that shows that, okay, this is the project environment. So anything, any dependencies, any packages and all that goes into that particular virtual environment for that particular project. Is that clear? All right. So now let me go down a bit. So now you see, when I run, now it runs successfully for me, which is A is assigned to 10, print A, which is 10. This is just a normal test, okay? So I will delete this cell. All right. Now let's look at something. Now we say we want to work on control flow, okay? We want to work on control flow. But before we work on control flow, I want to show you guys something, okay? So, So we have what we call conditional statements, okay? We have what we call conditional statements. Conditional statements, okay? So we have what we call conditional statements, and for the conditional statements, we have if, okay? In Python, we have if, we have elif, that is the else if, okay? But in Python, we just say elif, but the meaning is else if, okay? Please, how can you import library and dependencies in Python? So that's what I said. You need to, for you to do the import and all that, you just need to create a virtual environment that has all these dependencies on all that. But the imports, you do that based on what you are working on. So let's say if I'm importing NumPy, okay? NumPy will be my dependency. So it will be in my virtual environment that I will create for that particular project. Or it could be in your requirements.txt here. So I can just say NumPy here, or I can say pandas. Okay, sorry. So I can just say numpy or pandas here. Okay, so this one, these are some of the packages, okay, that you need to import. So once you install this to be part of your virtual environment and all that, all you need is just to depending on the code that you want to write, you can just say import blah blah blah. Okay, but we are not yet there. I don't want us to jump. Okay, so it's because when someone asks that question, we are not yet there. We will get there when we are there, where we import packages and all that. Okay, and dependencies and all that. So don't worry about it. Today we are looking at control flow. Okay, today we are looking at control flow. So no rush. All right. So now I'm saying that for conditional statements, we have if, we have elif. Okay. So now if is here, another statement is what? Elif. And then we have another one which is else. Okay. So take note of this. We have if, else if, and then else in Python. So these are the major conditional statements. And we have the last one which we could make them in a nested statement or in a nested conditional statement. Okay, all right. So now we are going to look at each of these. So we are going to look at the if statement. Sorry. So we are going to look at the if statement. Okay. We are going to look at the else if. Sorry. The else statement. Okay. We are going to look at the elif statement. Okay. So we are going to look at these three statements, each individually. So we are going to look at if statement, else if statement, elif statement, else statement, elif statement. Okay, all right. So now let's create a code. So you see how in VS Code we have code, we have Markdown. Okay, Markdown will just help you to have the text like in a form of headings and all that. So I can just say something like this. So with this, once I merge or once I run, it will be in a more statement form. So you see, yeah. So that's how. So because I made it once, so I can make it small by increasing the pound sign. Okay, you just add more to it. So I can make it 3 for each. And once I check, so it will be small in sizes. You see. So that's how it is. But we are not interested in this, so let me close this. So now let's have a code. Okay, all right. Now our first code is going to be if else. Sorry, we are going to look at if statement. Okay, so you see how the color changes. When you are in Markdown, it's blue. When you are in code, it's what? A different thing. Okay, all right. Now let's look at the if statement. Now with the if statement, we are looking at a condition where we want to have a statement as a condition. So based on the statement or based on the condition, then we run our program. Okay, so we are saying that in Python there is a conditional statement called what? If. That's the key thing. In Python there is a conditional statement called if. So if let's say I'm writing a program and I want my program to have a condition. Let's say if your age is greater than something, maybe you don't qualify, or maybe you're allowed to vote or all that. So let's do something like that and see. So let's say age. Okay, so let's say age is equal to 20. Okay, so age is equal to 20. So it means that age is assigned to 20. All right. So I've assigned age to be what? 20. Now I'm going to set my condition. Okay. So if age is greater than or equal to 18. Okay. Remember, now you know variables, you know these data types, so no confusion, right? Good. I'm saying that For age is assigned to 20. If age is greater than or equal to 18, okay? If age is greater than or equal to 8, now you know these operators. So these are comparison operators, so no confusion. Good. Because yesterday we learned it. Yeah. So now age is assigned to 20. If age is greater than or equal to 18, what do we want to do? Remember, you know indentation. You see where the cursor is? Good. Don't go and bring the cursor here. You get it wrong. All right, you get error. So it's going to be here. Okay? All right. Now, what do we do? We are saying that age is assigned to 20. If your age is greater than or equal to 18, then we will say that you are allowed to vote. Okay? That's the program. We are saying that if your age is greater than or equal to 18, then you are allowed to vote. But we've set our age to be 20. Okay? So we can say that, then print, then we say, now you see I'm coming to use a string. You are allowed to vote in the election. Okay? The elections. Okay? So now, if we run this, okay? If we run this, if age is greater than or equal to 18, print you are allowed to what? To vote. Okay? Let me close our terminal here. So if age is assigned to 20, if age is greater than or equal to 18, then you are allowed to what? To vote in the elections. So let's run and see. Let's run. So now let's go and check the condition. Okay? Age is equal to 20. If age is greater than or equal to 18, is age greater than or equal to 18? It's yes, isn't it? So it means that the condition is true. How do you know if the condition is true? How do you know? Can someone type it in the comment section? How do you know if the condition is true? It's quite unfortunate today we don't have our guest. How do you know if the condition is true? Can someone type the answer? How would you know if the condition is true? How would you check that, oh, even though it says you are allowed to vote in the elections, how would you know that the condition is true? So let's say we print age. Okay, let's say we print age. So age is 20, which is true, right? Now, how do you know that it's true that age is 20? How would you know? Someone said because 18 is not greater than. If age is greater than or equal to. I'm listening. Yes. Any other comment? How would you know? How would you know that? How would you know that this age is true? That so we want to know the true. How would we print that the age is true? How would we print? How would we print? I want the answer. I'm checking the comments. How would we know? If statement is respected, if age is greater than or equal to, because 18 is not greater than 20, that's assigned to be. But how would you print? So someone said input age to check. Okay. So how do I do it? Type it, then I'll do it so we see. I want you guys to see something. Like how would I know that how would I know if it's true the condition that we set, this condition that we set here? How will I know that it's true? Like the word T, the Boolean word true. How would I print it to see that it was true? Mhm. He said I should input age. So I should just input age like this. Age like this. Now I want you to type how you would do it on the notebook. How would you do it on the notebook? I want you to type. I want you to just print to me that the boolean true. How would you print that boolean for you to get the boolean true that says that the condition is correct? You don't just set the condition. You need to understand that the condition was it truly true or was it truly false? So okay, yeah, print statement will tell you yes. But what is the statement? I want you to give me that statement. Mhm. I know print statement will tell me, but I'm saying that what would you do to get that true, that boolean true? I'm watching the comment. Mhm, mhm. We need to check the condition. Yes, so that's correct. So you need to check the condition if the result is truly true. So how would you check the condition? Good. Intermediate. So how would you check the condition? You understand? You set a condition. How do you check that condition to make sure that the result you got is truly that result that should be correct? So it's good you said we check the condition. So how would you check the condition? I showed you guys yesterday. How would you check the condition? Mhm. How would you check the condition? So intermediate, good. So I think you even said it. If age is greater than, I wanted you to remove the if. Okay. So it's just um, age is greater than or equal to. Okay. So we want to understand age is greater than or equal to 18. So this is the condition we set. This is the condition. Okay. So you don't bring the if again if you want to check if the condition was truly giving us the correct answer. Okay, intermediate. Okay, so instead of you bring the if, don't bring the if. We said that if age is greater than or equal to 18. So this was the condition that we set. And now the condition, when we run the program, we got this result, okay, which it tells us that, oh, okay, because the condition says age is greater than or equal to 18, and now age is 20, then it means you are allowed to vote in the election because your age, which is 20, is greater than what? 18. We know that. But now, for us to make a good check and make sure that what the condition is saying is truly true, then you just say age is greater than 18. It should print you either any of the Boolean values. Okay? So let's see. So you see, we are getting through. But let's say if I put here, let's say if I put here 5, okay, we still get it. But let's say if I put here If I put here 5, okay, we will still get this, but let's see here. 5, we'll still get it. So you see, so the condition is telling you that the age, once age is assigned to 20 and age is greater than or equal to 5, yes. But let's see another statement where it will check and tell you, no, you're not allowed to vote. Okay, you're not allowed to vote. Okay, all right, let's check that one. So now, so we change our condition here, so we are getting true here. Okay, all right, now let's check this. So I'll just add a new code here, and then now we are going to look at the else statement. Okay, and for you to understand the else statement, okay, the else statement executes a block. Okay, it executes a block of code if the condition, okay, if the condition in the in the if statement, okay, so it executes a block of code in the condition if the if statement, so we are saying that the else statement does this. The else statement executes a block of code if the condition in the if statement is what? Is false. So if the condition in the if statement is false, then the else block is being executed. Okay, so let's continue with the examples. So here we said we were using 18 here, right? And then we printed this allowed, and then we wanted to check. So first we wanted to check, and we checked, and it was true. Now we said we want to check again using the else statement. Now for the else statement, we are saying that age is equal to, let's say, 16. Okay, age is equal to 16. Now for age is equal to 16, we are going to see, okay, if age is greater than or equal to 18, okay, what do we print? We print what? Let me scroll down. Sorry. We print you are eligible to, let's say not to, but let's say for voting. Okay, so here you see age is assigned to 16. If age is greater than or equal to 18, print you are eligible for voting. We want to cut it short. Okay, now see, we are going to use another conditional statement. Now check the alignments very carefully. Okay, now I can't start here because this is for this condition. I need to set another condition. You see the logic? This is one condition. The whole of this is one condition. Okay, but the main condition is this. The main condition is this. And for the condition, for us to get the result of the condition, then we print it here. But now, check where the alignment is going. You see where it's going? I need to come and set another condition here to align with the first condition. So I'll use the backspace again, and then I will say else. Then I'll bring my colon. Okay, take note of this. If age is greater than or equal to 18, print you are eligible for voting. Else, then what else? We print, let's say you are a minor. Okay, so let's say we print you are a minor. So now let's run the code and see. So what are we getting? You are a minor because what let's explain. Age is 16. If age is greater than or equal to 18, print you are eligible for voting. What is age? Age is not greater than or equal to 18. So it will not check this condition. It will jump and then come and pick this condition, the else condition. Good. So that's why it says if age is greater than or equal to 18. Already we are saying age is 16. So age is not greater than or equal to 18. So of course you will not be eligible, or we can say you are not eligible. Okay, so we can say you are not eligible to vote. Okay, so the same thing, how you structure your sentences. All right, so this is how we work with the if statement and then also the else statement. Okay, that's how we work with the if statement and the else statement. Now let's look at the next one. We have another one called else if. Okay, so we have another one called if. Okay, so don't be confused. If, right? So the if, okay, the if, okay, statement. So the if statement allows you to check multiple conditions. So what does it tell us? It tells us that for the elif statement or the else if statement, it allows us to check multiple conditions. So the elif basically stands for the elif, okay? The elif basically stands for what? It stands for else if, okay? Just to take note of that. But in Python, we don't bring the se, okay? We just say elif. You see how they did a thing? Yeah. So you just have to be careful on that. So elif, don't bring the se. That is why we say elif. Okay. All right. So now we are saying that it allows us to what? It allows us to check multiple conditions. Remember previously we were checking for just two conditions. Initially we started with just one condition. You see, we started with one condition, and now we were checking for two conditions, which is this and this. But now we are saying that the else if or the elif will allow us to check for multiple conditions. So let's see an example of that. Okay, let's see an example of that. So let's say age. We will still use our age so that we are consistent with what we are learning. Okay, all right. So on your free time, you can also do several examples. Okay, so we are saying that age is assigned to 17. So let's say age is assigned to 17. If age, let's say, now let's use less than lot. We are no more using greater than. So if age is less than 13, okay, so if age is less than 13, let's print something. Let's print what do we print? Let's say you are a child. Let's say you are a child. Okay, so if your age is less than 13, you are a child, right? Let's say you are a child. And then now let's print another condition. Else if, so if, you see, if age is less than 18, okay, if age is less than 18, then you are what? Let's print again. Print, then we bring our string. You are a teenager. Let's say teenager. Okay, all right. Now check again. Now we are saying if age is less than 13, print you are a child. If age is less than 18, print you are a teenager. Let's set another condition. Else, you see, else what? If it doesn't meet the two, then give us the last option which we want, which is print you are what? You are an adult, isn't it? You are an adult. So you see, the else if allows us to check for multiple what? Conditions. And when we run this, Okay, so we are saying that the elif statement allows us to check multiple conditions. That is why we are doing an example whereby we are saying that age is assigned to 17. If age is less than 13, print you are a child. If age is less than 18, print you are a teenager. Else, print you are an adult. So now, before we see the answer, kindly type in the comment section what the answer will be, the result will be when we run this program. What will be the result? When we run this program, what will be the result? So kindly type in the comment section. You are an adult, you're a teenager, you're a teenager. Okay, you're a teenager. Hey, I'm getting a lot of you're a teenager. Okay, okay. So let's see. So age is 17. If age is less than 13, you are a child. So is age less than? So this is how the program checks. It first checks the first condition. So ask yourself questions. That is how the program tool does. Is age less than 13? No. Okay, age is not less than 13. Age is greater than 13. So we don't come here. So the program will jump again. Is age less than 18? Yes, age is less than 18. So if age is less than 18, then automatically our answer should be you are a teenager, right? So the program will not even jump to you are an adult. No, it stops here. It stops right here. You get the concept? That is how conditional statements are. Okay, so let's run and see. So when you run, you are a teenager because teenager is less than 18. And age, teenager, age is less than 18 because our age was assigned 17. And of course, 17 is less than what? 18. And we can check by doing what? Doing something like this, picking it like this, okay? Then let's check. Always, me, I'm an engineer, so I always check things. I don't just agree with any result. So for instance, if you are working, someone can do an analysis and bring it to you and present it to you. The fact that he has done the analysis and is presented, you need to also check and make sure whatever the person is selling to you is accurate. You understand? So let's check if our condition is really, really true. So you see? So this tells you that the result we are getting here is 100% correct. Please, do we get the logic? So understand how the programs are being run, understand how the conditions are being executed, and understand how you check once you get a result from the conditions and from the program. All right. Now let's look at another one. We call another one nested if. Okay. We call another one nested condition. Okay. We call another one nested conditional statement. So nested conditional statements is just you can place one or more if comma if comma else statement inside another. I'm trying to type so you guys see when I'm talking, so you guys see else. Yeah, so you guys see that is how it works. So we are saying that we call something nested conditional statements. It's just you having like several statements inside another statement. So you can place one or more if else statement inside another one, inside another if or else statement. Okay, so this is basically to help you understand that for nested loop, for nested statement or conditions, you can have several statements in another statement. Okay, okay. So let's look at how we can create nested statements so you guys understand the logic. I like the practical aspect more than the. So now you've understand the theory. So this is the little bit of the theory. So let's look at a practical example. Okay, let's look at a practical example. All right. So let's say we want to check for some odd numbers, even numbers, and then let's say should we add let's say we want to check for numbers that are even, odd, and negative. Okay. All right. So let's say we want to check for number of what even numbers, odd numbers, and then let's say negative. Okay, we want to check for these numbers. We know even numbers, we know odd numbers, even numbers 2, 4, 6, odd numbers 1, 3, 5, blah blah blah. You understand? So we want to check for those things. Okay, can I check your code, please? Yeah, which part? Which side? Which side? Intermediate. Which part of the code? This one. Okay. You face any issue? So this is the code. Age is 17. If age is less than 13, print you are a child. If age is less than 18, check the indentation well. Remember yesterday we learned about indentation. So check the indentation well if you are having any indentation issue. All right, and also check how the variables and then the columns, everything, check well. Okay, all right. Let me know if you have any issue again. Now we are trying to understand using nested if. Okay, so let's do this. So let's say I want to make it simple for us. Okay, done. All right, we thank God. All right, so let's say now, where am I typing? So let's say num. Okay, num is just number. It's our variable. Okay, we are saying num is assigned to. Remember yesterday we did all these things. So let's say num is assigned to we want to accept a number. So let's say int. Okay, int. Then inside our integer, we want to accept a number. So we will use the input function or the input method. So input. So this is how sometimes it is. Okay, this is it. Input like this. So you see, first of all, let me go back so you guys understand. First of all, it's like this. I'm saying that I'm assigning a particular value or a particular thing that someone will enter. I'm storing it in this particular variable number, which is num. Okay, that thing is supposed to be a number, and that particular number or value that person will enter, I want to store it here. Okay, all right. Now for me to store it here, I said I want it to be an input. It means I want to accept that value from someone. Okay, if I want to accept that value from someone, then I will use first, and that value I'm accepting, I don't want it to be in a string form. I don't want it to be in a float form. I just want it to be an integer, which could be 6 or 7 or 9 or 7. I don't want anything like 7.9. No, that is a floating number. I don't want it. Okay, all right. So all that I need is, yes, the recordings will be posted on YouTube as well, and then the material will be shared on Discord every day. That's how we do it. Okay, Mayor. So don't worry. All right. So the num is assigned to integer. Okay. Now I said the input I'm accepting is supposed to be integer. Then I'll say input. Okay. Input. Input 2 is a function in. So I will just pre-build. So now we have inbuilt functions in Python. Okay. So you could see I'm using int, and then I brought a bracket open, bracket close. That is an inbuilt function. And now I'm using another inbuilt function called input. This one is also an inbuilt function. So you see how I'm trying to put these functions together. I said int like this, and I brought this. So this is one inbuilt function. Now, within the same function, I want to have another function inside it. Then I will say input. Then the bracket will be bracket close again. So you see, I'm having two separate and different what inbuilt functions from Python. Now within this, then I will say what? Enter the number. So I'm going to check if the number is even, odd, or is negative. You understand? So we are going to use nested if or nested conditional statements to check these things. You get the logic, guys? So we are going to use nested to check these things. So we are saying that num is integer, the input we are accepting is an integer. And now the input here function you are seeing is just an inbuilt function in Python that accepts values or that accepts data from someone. Okay? Alright. Now what we are going to do is we are going to say if the number that someone will enter, if that particular number is greater than 0, if that particular number is greater than 0, what do? We first print what? We first print the number is what? Positive. We are saying that if the number that the person will enter, if that particular number is greater than 0, then we print the number is positive. Now let's close this one. And then we will say if, see where I'm doing a nested if or a nested condition. So I will not bring the cursor here. I will not do this. Sorry. The moment I do this, we are doing what? Else if statement. We don't want to do that. So we are doing a nested. So I come here and I'll say if. So if inside if, that's the nested. If num, let's say the num modulo 2. Yesterday we learned modulus. Num modulo 2 is equal to 0. The number the person will enter, if that number modulo 2 is equal to 0, then we want to print. You see how the indentation is going? So that's why when you see a lot of code, you should understand how the flow is. Alright. So you see, so we are going to print what? What are we going to print? Let's print the number is even. The number is even. So we are saying that we are accepting a number here. We are accepting a number here. If the number is greater than 0, then print the number is positive. If the number modulo 2 is equal to 0, see the difference. This is equal to, and this is assignment. So this is variable declaration, and this is equal to operator sign here. So they are different. Yesterday we learned it. Good. You see how I'm trying to let you guys, I'm trying to remind you guys. You see how we are using everything here. So now, if num is greater than 0, print this. If num is modulo 2 equal to 0, print the number is even. Else, else, you see where I am? Sorry, I need to come here. Else, you see, else what? I will print, what do I print? The number is odd, because if it's not even, it's odd. The number is odd. Now, else, you see the way I'm doing it. So it tells you that this if statement, I have another if statement here. So this first condition will check this first condition, and then if it's true, it takes this. If it's false, it comes here again and check. If it checks here and this is also false, then else it prints here. Else, another condition. Else, if all of them, it doesn't meet all of them, then we just print where is it? Then we just print the number is 0. Oh, sorry. The number is 0 or negative. Okay. So we are saying that we want to accept a number, and if the number is greater than 0, print the number is positive for us. If the number is modulo 2 equal to 0, print the number is even. Else print the number is odd. Okay. Else print. So this is how the nested conditional statements are. We nest if statements in another if statement. This is what for this example, that is what we did. Okay, so we are nesting if statements in one if statement. So you see that we're having this if statement, and then once it checks this condition, and if it's true, it prints it. If it's false, it goes and checks this condition again within that same if condition. Then if this is true, then it will print it. But if it's false, then it comes here. Okay, so if it's greater than 0, then it comes here. If it's not greater than 0 and all that, then no, then this is a negative 10 or it's 0. That means it's equal to 0. That's why we are saying that or the number is 0 or negative. So let's run and test it. Okay. So now it says enter the number. So let's say the number is 10. So let's see. So you see the number is 10. The number is positive and the number is even. So you see how the program runs. The number is positive and the number is what? Even. So we first check here. Is 10 greater than 0? Yes. So the number is positive. If 10 modulo 2, so what is 10 modulo 2? If 10 modulo 2 is equal to 0, then print the number is even. And it's true. 10 modulo 2, 2 divided by 10 is what? So what will the remain? So automatically it will be an even number. I said that so the L indentation is wrong. Oh yeah, so that's the arrangement. So you could see it's supposed to be arranged like this. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I don't know when you type it this. Okay. So we are saying that the number modulo 2 is equal to 0. If the number modulo 2 is equal to 0, then print the number is even. And of course, I entered 10. So 10 modulo 2 will be equal to 0. There will not be any remainder. So it will be 0. Okay? So let's check. We come here. We check. Let's check this first. So you see, the number I entered was 10, so it's true. All right. Now let's go and enter another one. Let's go and check another one. So give me an example. What number should I enter? What number should I enter? Comment and let me have the number. 15. Okay, 15. All right. So I entered 15. Let's go and check. So it says the number is positive. The number is odd. So let's go to our condition. So is 15 greater than 0? Yes, 15 is greater than 0. So the number is positive. Okay. Now, 15 modulo 2 is equal to 0. If is 15 modulo 2 equal to 0? If 15 modulo 2 is equal to 0, then the number is even. Is 15 modulo 2 equal to 0? No. So it will be what? Odd. So that's why it printed this. Else the number is odd. Okay. One last test. Yes, what should we enter so we can execute this last test? This one. What number should we enter so we can execute? We can get this last test. 20. Okay, let's test this and see. Someone said 20. 20. Okay, 20. All right, let's go and check. No, we are not getting it. You're still getting. What number, guys? What number should we enter to get this last else statement? The number is 0 or negative. What number should we type? Yeah, I typed 20. Oh, I didn't run. I ran 20. Enter the number 20. The number is positive, the number is negative. No, I want to have this condition, this printed. The number is 0 or negative. So what should we enter? Okay, negative 10. Let's run. Negative 10. Negative 10. Enter. Good. So you see, we have the number is 0 or negative. So you see, our program is running. Okay, Mayor said 0.5. Okay, let's test 0.5 too. 0.5. Enter. So you see, we are getting error. Do you know why we are getting error? We are getting a value error because we set our input to be integer. But let's say if I do something like this, okay, and then we run, and then we say 0.5, we should get the result. So you see, so that's why I say always check this. That's why I change this to input and string and all that. So here is integer. So no point anything. Okay, all right, that's good. So we can say negative 10, and we will get the last statement, this one. So the number is 0 or negative. All right. Now let's move on to one practical work. Then I'll post an assignment in the Discord. Okay, I'll post the assignment in Discord. So tomorrow I'll be waiting for the assignment on Discord. So let's look at another example so we can be done for the day. Okay, and if you guys have any question, remember you can post it on Discord for me. It's quite unfortunate today we don't have the guest, but hopefully tomorrow we should have the guest request button there for us. I don't know why live studio we have challenges today. All right, so now let's do a last example. Let's say we want to determine, okay, if a year, okay, is let's say we want to determine if a year is a leap, okay, it's a leap year using nested condition statement. Okay, let's say we want to determine if a year is a leap year using nested condition. So this should tell you need to use a lot of what? You need to accept input first, and then based on the input, then you set your nested conditions. So let's do this quickly. So we will do this. So our variable will be year. Okay, we will set our variable to be year, and then we will say that. Oh, sorry guys. So we will say year is assigned to we say int. Okay. Okay. I don't know why I was trying to get. So we are saying that our variable is going to be year. Okay. So we are saying that year is assigned to int. Okay. So if year is assigned to int, which is an inbuilt function, within the int we want to accept an input. Okay. Another inbuilt function. And what input are we accepting? We are accepting a year. So enter the year. Okay. So once we enter the year, then we now want to set our condition. So you see, first we set what we want, the value. We want to get the value, which the value will be a year, which of course a year will be 2025, 2020. So of course it will be an integer. Yeah, you are late. We are almost done. Okay. So now let's set our conditions. Okay. All right. So if year, so you see, if year, let me make it simple for us. So if year modulo 4, okay. So if year modulo 4 is equal to 0, So we are saying that the year that the person will enter, if that year modulo 4 is equal to 0, then what do we do? Let's print. No, should we print? Should we print? No, we shouldn't print now. Else, if year modulo 4 is equal to 0, okay, let's set another nested. So see how I'm setting a nested if again. If year modulo 100, okay, is equal to 0, you see how I'm setting another. So you see I'm doing the nested. I'll set another if again. If, okay, year. So you see another strategy of how we do the nested conditions. Okay, take note of these things. So I'm doing nested conditions. So if year modulo 4 is equal to 0, if year modulo 100 is equal to 0, okay, and if year modulo, should I jump more? Yeah, let's say 400. If year modulo 400 is equal to 0, okay, what are we printing? For the last one, print. Let me scroll down, guys, so you can see. For the last one, print the variable, which is the year, okay, comma, it's what? It's a leap year. So let's say it's a leap year. This is just a normal like conditions we are setting, okay? All right. So it's a leap year, okay? Else, so the else shouldn't be here. You know why? This if goes with this. Now, if I want another else, it should go with this. So I'll come back like this. You see? So I'll come back like this so that this one will go with this. And then I'll have another one that goes with this. And I'll have another one that goes with this. You see? Alright. So now let's do the next one. So else, this one. Okay? So we are saying that if the year modulo 400 is equal to 0, print year is a leap year. Else, print year, okay, year is what? It's not a leap year, okay? Alright, so we are saying that year modulo 4 is 0, if year modulo 100 is also 0, and if year modulo 400 is also 0, print year is a leap year. Else, so this goes with this, else this one will come here. If it's not a leap year, then it will come to what? It's not a leap year. Okay? Alright. Now, what we can do is, we are saying if else. Now we need to also do for this one, this condition, and then also the top one. So I'll come here and I'll press like this. And I'll make sure I get an else that matches this if. So you see the line, the indentation. You see the indentation. Okay? We take note of it. So I'll say else. You see? And then I'll bring it here, then I'll print. I'll print the year, comma, is a leap year. Okay? And then now, what will be the last one? The last one will be the else for the, the else for the top one, so which is marking there. So else, print year, okay? Else print year is not a leap year. So you see how the alignments is done? So you see from the code, I first set all the 4 conditions I want. I could have done it how we did it previously, but I want you guys to see different dynamics, okay? So that is why I set this, okay? So if year modulo 4 is equal to 0, if year modulo 100 is equal to 0, if year modulo 400 is equal to 0, then we will print this first one. Else we print this. For this particular condition is this. Okay? Else we'll come and look at this condition again. And then if it doesn't meet this, else we will print what? This. Else, we come and check this one again, and then we print this. Okay. So let's run and see. So let's run and see. Where is it? Okay. So now enter the year. So let's say 2014. Let's say 2014. All right. 2014 is not a leap year. So where did the condition get to? It's not a leap year. Which one is that? Is 2014 equal to 2014 modulo 4 is what? Guys, 2014 modulo 4. So we can just type it here. So we can do something like this. How we can do the check, okay? So this is how you can do the check. So I can pick it here and come here, and then I will say that this one. So I'll first say 2014 because we want to check if truly 2014 is a leap, it's not a leap year if it's coming from this here, if it's coming from this or this, because we have two, it's not a leap year. Okay, so let's look at which condition was picked, and of course 2014 modulo 4 is equal to 0, or was it picked from 2014 modulo 100 is equal to 0, or was it picked from 2014 modulo 400 is equal to 0? So let's check. Okay, I always tell you, check your results. Don't think everything is correct. All right. So now, instead of year, because we had year here, this was the condition we set. Okay, the first condition. But we don't want the variable. It is the variable that is holding the 2014 that gave us this result, isn't it? Good. Now let's put that particular value the person we requested and the person entered here. Okay, so we entered 2014. Now let's check. Let's run this code here. So you see 2014 modulo 4 is not equal to 0. So it's what? It's false. Good. So it means this condition, okay, this condition, was it met or not? This condition, we are saying that the year modulo 4 is equal to 0. If the year modulo 4 is equal, then it's not a leap year. Now let's look at another one so we will be able to understand. Oh no, I should pick the second condition. Sorry guys, let me pick the second condition. This one. You've checked the first condition already, so let me pick the second condition. This one. Okay, so now let me change this to 2014. We are using the same 2014. Okay, all right, so this is also false. Okay, now let's go to the third condition. Let's check the third condition as well. Let's change this to 2014. All right, now let's run this as well. Now you see 2014 modulo 400 is equal. Is it equal to 0? No, so it's also false. So now it tells you that all the 2014 we entered were all false. That is why it will pick the first one. It's not even jump to this. All this. Once it picks this, then we get this. It's not a leap year. Okay, so let's change the year. Let's check another year. Which year should we use, guys? God bless you too. Which year should we use? Type it in the comment section. Which year should we use? So it says enter the year. Which one should we use? So give me the year to enter. Okay, 2019. Okay, 2019 was not 2015. Was not 2025. 20. Okay, so let's first do the 2019. Okay, 2019. All right. So 2019 is not a leap year. So we've done. I want the one which will pop up with a leap year. So let's go with 2025. 2025 as well. So comment and let me see. It's not a leap year, so we don't want 2025. Let's go with another one. 2016. 2016 is a leap year. So 2016 is a leap year. So now let's change here. 2016. So this should be false. true. So 2016 modulo 4 is equal to 0. So that was why we get that true. It's a leap year. So let's check here again. 2016. So here, where is it? 2016. So here was 4. So the code didn't get here. Let's check this to 2016. So you see here was 4. So you see where the code was started running. It picked the first one, this one. It's a leap year. You see? Alright. So that is how nested conditions are. You've seen two different examples and how this is being done. You see? So that is how nested conditions are being set and all that. So take it very serious, because every program you work on, whether data analysis, machine learning, and all that, you will use these kind of statements, the conditional statements. Okay? You will use these kind of conditional statements. Okay? Okay? So the assignment will be very simple. I will post it in the Discord. So if you don't join my Discord, kindly join the Discord. The link is in my YouTube and also in the TikTok bio. So when you go to YouTube, the name is the same, Darko Labs. The YouTube link is also in my bio. When you go there, if the Discord link on my TikTok bio doesn't work, go to the YouTube. There's a Discord link there. You can join us, and then the assignment will be posted there. Okay? But the assignment is very simple. We are just going to work on a simple calculator program whereby you allow all these things. Okay? All right. So I'll post the assignment there very soon, shortly, once I end the live. So guys, this is all for today. Okay? This is all for today, and we will dive deep more into so many things, but I would like you to do a lot of tests on the assignments. Okay? So the assignments, you create a notebook, and then based on the notebook, you work on it for me. And then once you're done, you share it in the assignment channel on Discord, and then I'll look at it, each and everyone's work. Okay? All right. So I'm done for today, and